Hello everyone, we're approaching wintertime fishing and I thought I would go over the installation of my diesel heater in my 2018 210 Hughescraft Sea Runner. Now you can certainly install these diesel heaters in any boat you like, soft top, hard top like mine. The install will be pretty much the same and you can do it yourself, and I just feel that they are infinitely superior to propane based heaters because you just don't get the condensation inside like you do with propane. Propane burns a very humid type of heat, whereas diesel tends to dry everything out, which means no foggy windows, especially if you install it the way that I'm going to show you here today. So this is a very clean installation. You're not going to see a lot of wires or ducts or anything that can burn you or anything that's going to look ugly, because I'm fussy that way. I'm kind of OCD about things. I want it to be a clean looking install. First off, I'll start off with the fuel tank. It's just a 3-gallon marine tank. It's the kind that's designed to fit underneath a bench seat in a rowboat, but this would work on any outboard. But as you can see, I have it attached to a diesel line through a fuel filter here on the left. Very easy to fill too. You can just reach over the side here in the bow and undo the cap and fill it up right there at the gas station. Step inside here. If you have a Hughescraft or just about any aluminum ocean based boat or bigger water boat, you probably have a door or a storage area that goes up underneath the bow. This is the door to my storage area. I did mount a CO detector on the door here because the heater is back behind here. This is just a precaution. Never once has this CO detector gone off. But when you're burning anything inside an enclosed space, whether it's canvas or aluminum or whatever, it's really a good idea to have a CO detector. You do not want to asphyxiate anyone. Now behind this door is the heater itself. I've got a light to shine under here, so hopefully you can see good. Oh yeah, that's showing up nicely. So there is the heater itself. You can see the cold air intake is on the left and the 4 black ducts coming out of it on the right. Down below we have the fuel intake and the exhaust. The exhaust, if you're wondering where it goes, let's close this door. It actually, on the side of the boat here, we'll see if we can get a shot of it. It comes out right there. Tough to see from inside the boat, but it's on the side of the hull. And it's only about a 6-foot run from the heater inside that door to the hull, right by that railing essentially. As far as ducting goes, I have 4 ducts in this boat that allow the heat to go to various places that keeps everybody warm and the windows nice and clear. The first one is right here on the passenger side. It's pointed straight up at the passenger's windscreen right here. The second one's kind of hard to see behind all the wires, but it's the same duct for the driver's windscreen. Then down below, by the passenger's feet, we have one there next to the storage door. And the same thing on the driver's side, same vent again. That's the 4th and final duct. Also on the passenger side, you see this larger piece of aluminum ducting. That's the cold air intake. So I actually have mine set up to pull all of the air from outside the boat, and it comes in through this cowling right here. And I again think that's just a safety issue. It certainly would be more efficient to simply recirculate the warm air inside the boat and keep heating it. The heater wouldn't work nearly as hard, but by having a fresh source of heat ducted into the cabin area, I just feel it's a safer setup. And again, don't forget the CO detector. As far as the controls, well, they're right here on the dash. Mine is several years old now. Like I said, I put it in April of 2018. So I just have a simple turn it on and turn the knob as far as you want it to go. You can certainly turn it all the way up to max, but it'll cook you out. I find that just about halfway up is more than enough. Should be able to hear it running now. And it is not very loud at all. It is just a mild hum in the background, as you can probably hear right now. I'll be quiet for a minute so you can hear it. In just a moment, you'll hear the fuel pump click on, and it actually makes a bit of a clicking noise. Again, pretty subtle, not anything that is going to bother you or scare fish or anything like that, but it is something to consider that they do make a little bit more noise than, say, a propane heater. I hear the fuel pump clicking now, so let's take a listen. You also hear the fan ramping up as the heat starts coming out of the ducts. The fan will kick up a little bit higher, and out of this duct we're already getting some nice warm air. So that's kind of it, guys. It's a very simple install if you're not afraid to drill some fairly decent sized holes in your boat, that is. Always available for questions, but that is kind of the overview of my diesel heater setup. A lot of people get hung up on the brands. You know, Planar makes one, which is a Russian version of an S-Bar, which is the German original. The Chinese also make one that basically they sell under multiple brand names or no brand name at all. Mine is the latter. I have the Chinese knockoff, and it is a no-name brand, and it is 3 years old and still going strong. So as long as you install them correctly, you're probably not going to have any problems with these. They are pretty bulletproof. The biggest mistakes I see and the reasons why they aren't working all have to do with install issues. Things like running the ducts too far, using the wrong type of line for the fuel line. You need to use a very hardcore, dense line that doesn't have any flex to it. And that fuel pump is clicking. If you're using a softer rubber line, it will pulsate and you won't get the proper fuel flow into the heater. So that's a real common mistake that I see. Other than that, just making sure that you have enough power in your battery system. These heaters do use a fair amount of heat on startup, or excuse me, a fair amount of power on startup. Once they're running though, they're very efficient. That 3-gallon tank up there, I could leave this heater on for about a week before it would go empty. Keeping it, 70, 75 degrees here in the cab of my boat without a problem, even in January. So I hope you enjoyed the video. See you out there fishing. By all means, give me a shout if you have any questions.